Well, I produce two shows here at WKFK as the host. One of them is Local Heroes, and then I am the host of Spotlight on Jackson County. They are two entirely different shows. Local Heroes is something that is preserving history and telling stories. And Spotlight on Jackson County is a program where guests, sometimes all the way from New York, come to the show, and they're talking about different aspects of the organization that they're in. It could be political, it could be nonprofits. So Spotlight on Jackson County is kind of like diametrically opposed to Local Heroes. It's much different, but it's very informative for our viewers. We bring people on the show that are interesting. We bring people on the show that are informative. Sometimes we have controversial subjects that we cover here on Spotlight on Jackson County, but it's more like a news magazine show where it's an informative show. Sometimes you get to hear about or talk to people who are authors who've written books, or people who are musical, people who have made CDs, or it's just entirely different. It's informative news type show here on WKFK. When I started here at WKFK on a part-time basis, I was the engineer. I would come in after my other full-time job, and I would work on equipment. And when I started at WKFK on a full-time basis, I had no idea that I would be hosting two shows. Actually, WKFK allowed me to start Local Heroes right before I came full-time. So we had several Local Heroes shows that had already been produced when I was working on a part-time basis. But the host of Spotlight on Jackson County left unexpectedly after I'd been here only 2 weeks. And the management said, can you host another show? And I said, sure, I'll be glad to give it a try. And I've been doing it ever since. I think our Spotlight on Jackson County show benefits the community because people have an opportunity to hear about events, to see interviews with people who are very important to the county, who make a difference in the county, people who are running for office. They get to know candidates. They get to hear from people who work in different aspects of the county, everything from taxes to their local law enforcement. So Spotlight on Jackson County, it truly does what the title of the show says. It spotlights different aspects about people, places, things, events that are going on here in Jackson County. Now, we don't limit it only to guests from Jackson County. We had a lady one time flying all the way from New York to be on the show because they had heard about our show through the internet. There are people who come to be on the show from different counties in Mississippi. There are people who come on the show who come from Alabama, Louisiana. It's really reaching out, and it's really making a difference. And the people in Jackson County have an opportunity through that show to see many different things that are happening, many different people that are working for their benefit, and it's really making a difference. In producing the show Spotlight on Jackson County, I guess there have been a lot of memorable moments, some that I'll never forget. We've done some special Spotlight on Jackson County shows. We did one called Down South Magazine of the Air, Mr. Charles Sullivan from Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, for which WKFK won a first place gold award, Mississippi Association of Broadcasters. That was a show that really brought to light for the first time some 1950s radio shows that nobody had ever heard before, and along with that some pictures of the coast that nobody had ever seen. There have been a lot of memorable moments as far as things that people have come on and talked about. Our Daily Bread, which is a nonprofit that feeds the needy every day, about how they needed money, and they were on the show, and suddenly they have not gotten to the point where they don't need money, but that it really helped them out. So there've been a lot of instances where the show has made a difference in people's lives, and it's really made a difference in my lives in many aspects. I had no idea when I started the two shows that I would be such a recognized person in the community. I mean, you get out in the community, people who you don't know come up to you and ask, you know, how you doing, and they watch the show and they really like it, or they have a suggestion. There are a lot of people that say, I watch the Local Heroes and they love that show. And, you know, I really am touched by the fact that so many people see me and recognize me and really have good things to say, but sometimes they have suggestions, and occasionally they have some negative input, but I really like to listen to all of them. I like their feedback, and it's kind of neat that WKFK is making that big a difference along with myself and a lot of people's lives in Jackson County. I would really like to see this station progress a lot more. We have made a lot of changes. Change sometimes comes slow. Change sometimes comes very fast. We've made a lot of changes as far as our productions and our production value and the shows that we produce, and we are constantly looking at ways to improve what we do, make it better, and to come up with new, fresh ideas for shows and for programming and for commercials and for other aspects of the station that would enhance our position in the community, but also make a difference in the community. WKFK, for the first time in many years, has really upgraded our website. We have a new look. It's with the time, so to speak. It's just great. It's fantastic. It's something that I think people will find easier to navigate. They'll find more information there. They'll find more pertinent subjects there. They will find that it just even looks better. We've really come into the 21st century with our new website, and we're just getting better with it because, you know, we just started working on it. We just launched it recently, and it's just going to get better in the future.